Why pictures of happy black men overseas usually make me happy, sometimes they sadden me a little bit too. All right, so I want to start you guys off by listening to this young man talk about his relationship history.
Yeah, I kissed a girl, but I don't really think that counts because, that was all a part of the, game spin the bottle. She didn't even want to, the girl that kissed me didn't even want to kiss me. She only did it out of pity because I told her and all of her friends that I never kissed a girl before. She only did it because I said that. She only did it out of pity. She had a crush on another guy. She didn't have a crush on me. But I really feel depressed, man. That I can't. I just recently turned 21.
Okay, so we can hear from this man's story that he basically has not had any intimate romantic experience as a 21-year-old, right? And so from grade school on, it sounds like he may never have even held a girl's hand. And this is a growing norm for a lot of young guys now, right? If you're not the select choice guy in the classroom, you're invisible, right? And so you're having a larger and larger group of guys that are just not getting any intimate attention at all. Okay, let's listen to him keep going.
Never been in any type of relationship at all. Females. I just feel like girls just don't want to give me the time of the day. Like I feel like I just get jealous every time when I see couples. I see other people with girlfriends, other guys with girlfriends, and I'm just stuck. I feel like I'm just stuck, and I'm stuck in a hole, and I can't get out. I see all these other guys that get girlfriends like it ain't nothing. Like it's just, like it's child's play.
Okay, so you can tell from this clip that this young man just not hasn't had any intimate experience at all, and this is a growing trend. If you This is a Washington Post chart from 2018, and it's showing how men under 30, how many of them have not had a sexual partner since they turn 18. This is not even the last year. You're talking about men under 30 who haven't had a sexual partner since they turned 13 or ever. And that's 1 out of 4. That's more than 1 out of 4. And we're talking about adults here. So, of course, from 30, between 18 and 30, you can clearly have sex. 18 is 16 and 30, really. And so if there are such a large number of guys going through this, it's just kind of redefining what relationships are these days, right? And so you have a lot of guys like this gentleman here who just, they don't have any experience at all. And I think one of the things that's happened, and it speaks to why I'm a little bit sad, one thing that saddens me is that there are a lot of guys that just aren't getting any kind of romantic interest at all, right? They're not getting any romantic interest at all. And so they never get a chance to really feel what it's like to be giddy and hold hands and sit close in the theater. And that is a growing norm for a lot of guys. Now I'm going to speak to as to why I think this is the case. I think one of the reasons this is the case is because the focus has been basically placed on what women want, right? So this is from an article I kind of plucked off of Facebook, right? And so this is a lady who basically, she has her tattoos and, she's not shaving her arm hair, and she feels very confident in that, right? But like the earlier guy mentioned, there are a lot of guys probably giving her positive attention on social media or whatever, and so she doesn't have to worry about that. So the focus has basically become on, I'm not appealing to a man, men are appealing to me, right? And so, again, there are actually more of these. So this is another one where you have the two ladies here. This is actually the cover of the article, but you have the one lady here. She has the nose ring, she has the tattoos. She says she hasn't shaved in 2 years and she doesn't think she ever will again. And she's getting tons of positive reinforcement, probably from social media or from whatever, right? Because, most guys are just starved for, female attention, as we saw in the earlier graph. And then there's the last one here this is a lady who's pregnant and she feels she's beautiful in her own skin as she is. And whatever, probably via social media, she's still getting a lot of attention, or she's married. I don't know if she's married or not, but she's getting a lot of positive validation, right? And so I say that to say that we've seen kind of this paradigm kind of change from women appealing to men all the way back over to men are appealing to women, right? Except for the select group of men who, of course, women are still appealing to. But you have a great number of men that are basically appealing to women, like, please give me an opportunity, give me a chance. And so when the men's doing the appealing, it's basically like you see in these photos, women feel like they're doing men favors by giving them attention, right? And so you're going on a date and you're not going to shave your armpits. You don't feel the need to shave your armpits and you're going on a date with a guy. That's where it is now, right? So I want you to listen to Ace Metaphor. He's going to coach up some women on how to date, right? And so again, when I'm talking about the appealing part of it is kind of moved out of dating, right? So listen to Ace Metaphor coach up women as to how to date.
Have an understanding that we are exclusive. You are only dating me and I'm only dating you. It is smart to keep your options open. Ladies, I don't know why the hell y'all decide to close down shop as soon as you get one customer that didn't even buy. You got one customer in your store and you like, hold on, let me turn the close signal down and let me just keep my store closed until he decides if he want to buy something. And
okay.
if you,
so even if these options are, let's just say that they're for the non-select guys, the guys that are outside of the desired class of men. Let's just consider that. With this advice, he's basically saying, don't keep your options closed to that one guy, right? Unless, of course, he commits, which, of course, she's going to be willing to commit, but she might not be willing to commit because she has the guy that she really, really wants, right? And so she gets to the situation with the guy she wants, and she might be dating the guy that really is head over heels for her. But if that's not the guy that she really wants, she's going to keep those options open. So again, we're not seeing any kind of appeal to a man like, I want you in my life, I want to date you. Not for most guys. You have a small select group of guys that are getting all of it. But for the guy like earlier in this video, they're not even getting a chance to experience a woman appeal to them. Let's keep listening.
ask me, that's some dumbass. Date like you got options by keeping your options together and keeping it open. If a man doesn't want you to have options, he'll take it to the next level. He'll make a commitment. Until that man makes a commitment, you single. Act like it. But
okay, so again, if you're, I mean, it's almost coaching all women to date like the 20% of men that are getting all the attention, right? And so if a woman finds a decent guy, but she wants a different guy, she's going to keep her options open and maybe even lose the decent guy, or she's just going to string the decent guy along until she, quote unquote, settles for this guy, right? And so what this basically opens up is you just have a bunch of women that are at the mercy of the whims of a small select group of men, and they're complaining about those guys. And then the other average guys that are, you know, living their lives are getting no attention, right? Let's listen to the end.
We'll get the calf day cake and eat it too because you willingly put your cake in his mouth. And I ain't talking about the nasty cake. I'm talking about you literally let me be monogamous to this man from day 3. It's dumb as to give up your options for a that ain't committed.
Okay, so basically saying you shouldn't give up your options for a guy who won't commit to you. Now, the reason why this clip is so important, I think, is there's nothing romantic about what he's coaching women to do, right? There's nothing soft about it. Like, women are being coached to date like it's a business, right? And so a lot of men are not getting, we're lucky. If you're a Gen Xer watching this, you had a chance to date before the internet where you had a better chance of having someone in your school, or even maybe if you went to college, your college, whereas basically they knew 100, 200, 300 people, and you might have been one of the better candidates to date in that pool of people she knew. And so you had a chance to just have a regular, honest, open relationship for, you know, a couple months, a year or so, and you actually date, hold hands, stuff like that. we have a generation of men that aren't getting any of that. They're not getting any intimacy, no closeness. It's, you're like number 5th on my option scale, and I'm keeping my options for number 2 and number 1. So I'm going to keep you at arm's length until I can get a definite decision on these guys. And so you basically just have a lot of guys who have never really felt appealed to. They never felt like, this is a woman that wants to be with me, so I'm going to go break my back for her. A lot of guys aren't getting that. Now, I want you to listen to Lizzo, and this is kind of going to cap this off, because Lizzo is in her mid-30s, okay? And so in a lot of countries, in your mid-30s is a time you're past thinking about settling down. You probably have your second child, you know, on the way, or maybe born already, and you've been married at, you know, 2-3 years. But in America, we're seeing it get pushed back further and further, where it's don't get married at 30, don't get married at 35, don't get married at 40. It's just, you know, keep your options open, right? So listen to the way she talks about relationships in her mid-30s, with her serious relationship with her boyfriend.
So it might last 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think a traditional, like, relationship scares me for 10 years, but love is forever. I can love somebody forever.
I want to hear more. What does a non-traditional relationship look like to Lizzo? And I don't even like to say words like non-traditional, traditional. What is a relationship?
It's like monogamy, I think, to me, is a little claustrophobic. I think because there's the rules. Okay,
so what she's basically saying is that being with one person is scary. And I'm not exactly sure why it's scary, because even with social media and all things considered, it's not like you can't continue to at least entertain other offers. But just the idea at 34 years old of being in a monogamous relationship, she's speaking about it as if it's some kind of way of being locked down into something, right? So it almost suggests that she's never really done that, or she did it and it didn't work, or she wanted it and the other person didn't, or something. And so even in her mid-30s, she's not thinking, I want to find someone and give this person the best part of me. She's thinking, keep my options open, right? Let's keep listening.
I think a love relationship that's not monogamous has no rules. And I think people who do poly and all that stuff, there's still rules. It's like, well, you can see this person, but you can't see this person. I don't want any rules, but that doesn't mean I'm out here fucking and sucking and ducking and, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean he is either. It just means that, like, there's just no expectations. Yeah. And that way the love gets to just be like the main event, not like well, you were supposed to call me and why aren't you home by, like.
Okay, so what we're basically seeing is that she wants the fun part of the relationship, and she doesn't want the work part of it, right? I want to have the fun part. We get to have the emotional highs, but as soon as it gets icky, I don't want to be attached to that part of it, right? And so I say that to say this, and this is the reason why I made this video, is that when I see pictures of guys that have gone overseas like this, a lot of these guys, you got to think about what it takes to be a person that says, you know what, I'm going to uproot from the place that I grew up. I'm going to go overseas, start a new life, and find someone to start my life with. That takes a lot for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't really willing to do that. But like we saw with the gentleman in the first video, he knows he has zero prospects for a loving relationship. Zero at 21. And if he does have prospects for a relationship, it's basically going to be a relationship where someone can see he has procured resources, and they'll feign interest for a little while, get some of the resources and leave, right? And a lot of guys understand that's the game now. And so when I see pictures like this, the reason why it saddens me is because there are a lot of guys that just are not having like intimate relationships. And when I mean intimate, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about a girl that wants to be with you. Someone that's happy to be with you. Someone that holds your hand in public. Someone that wants to sit up next to you and cozy under you while you're watching TV. Someone whose palms get sweaty when they see you coming over. This little stuff like that. we have a growing number of guys, and I'm not even talking about ugly, nonsense. I'm talking about regular guys that did their homework in school and they go to work every day and they're saving money and they went to college and they did all the things that they're supposed to do, except for the growing number of women, they just aren't the guys that they're interested in. And so they get zero attention. They never get a chance to be in a relationship where someone really was looking forward to seeing them on Friday night and they're holding hands at the beach. And so you're seeing guys go overseas and they're getting this for the first time, and it makes me sad because a lot of these guys are just so happy that someone is happy to see them. And it's a lot of guys. And when I look in the videos, in the Facebook groups, and I see all these pictures of guys that are so happy, it makes me sad because they didn't get this in America. They had to leave America to get someone to care about them. They work hard, they save their money, they do everything right, and they still can't find someone that looks at them and says, I want to spend my time with you, without keeping all of my options open. You have all of these women walking around saying, I got to keep my options open. I can't let you tie me down. Maybe I can get my number one. And the number one strings them on forever. And they go over booty calls late night forever. And then boom, you're 35. And the guy that wanted you as his number one, he just got tired of it. And guys are getting their passports and they're leaving, and I'm happy to see it, because why should you be in these non-emotional, lifeless, one-way relationships where you're never going to get valued or appealed to? You're seeing guys go overseas. Look at genuine smiles in these pictures. These are women that want to be with these guys. And when I see guys getting their passports and I see people getting pissed off about it, I almost want to curse. Like, if you wanted those guys, you would appeal to them before they left, and you didn't. When I see pictures like this, I know guys that they went through a period of time where they were like, you know what, I'm really trying, it's not working. I got to do something else. And then they make the ultimate decision. They say, you know what, I got to go. I got to try something else. And they went through a lot of anguish to get here. And so with that, I want to say that I salute my passport brothers. I salute them. You can get a woman to smile like this to you? Leave. Don't stay where you have Lizzo, who's 35 years old, acting like she's doing her boyfriend a favor. She's 35. We're talking, you hear the Ime Udoka can't even get Nia Long to commit to him to live in the same city with him. And she's 50. She won't even move to the same city to live with him at 50. We're still keeping your options open then? When will you have an intimate relationship? Go overseas, man. Get someone that wants to see you come home and be happy and smile. And if that person is a 4 in the, so what? If that person barely speaks English, so what? If that's the person you have to learn a language to communicate, so what? Have somebody that's happy to see you walk your behind in the door for once. Someone that's palms get sweaty when you get there. Someone that embraces you at the door. You deserve it. Heck, most men deserve it. You follow the law, you go to work, you save your money, you do everything right. Why don't you deserve that? If you can get it, go get it. And don't let woman play you along, have you string you along because she wants to keep her options open. And she's in her mid-30s. And she thinks she's doing you a favor after she's dated hundreds of guys by giving you an opportunity to be in her life as one of her suitors. Man, I feel sorry for the guys who are still trying to make it work in a situation that it can't. Get your passport, man. Do what you got to do to find someone that wants to see you walk through the door. And with that, guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.